Today's 100 kilometer pictures review is is interesting one because I want to take a look at this movie once I finish The Lost Legacy, but I didn't have time to, but I decided to do it today. And it is the Uncharted movie from 2022. So I had to, of course, do this once I played the games because I wanted to do a review of it again just to see how I think of it now, knowing that I played and enjoyed all of the games. So when I first saw it, I watched it for the first time while I was getting into Uncharted with Drake's Fortune. So I was new to Uncharted when the movie came out, and I thought it was pretty decent. Though there were some issues, but I thought the film was fun. And now watching it now, it's not as good as I remember, but I still have fun with it. The move while watching it, I had two issues with the movie. Problem number one, which is honestly something that I was thought about once I was playing Uncharted 4, which is that this movie has a lot of elements from Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, which to me was an odd choice because this is the first Uncharted movie, and most of the plot elements are from the last game that concludes Nathan Drake's story arc. So it's very weird that Nathan Drake's feature film debut has a lot of plot elements from Nathan Drake's final story arc video game. It's very confusing, but whatever. It was a very awesome game. But it's obvious that this, while playing it, makes it clear that it has a lot of elements. I mean, from the flashback to the museum fight scene where Nathan and Sully were wearing their suits, and the climax, which of course takes on a boat on an island, and that's where Uncharted 4's climax happened. Um, so yeah, and though there are some other elements from the other games, like Nathan Drake has his outfit from the first game, and there's the plane sequence from the third game, Uncharted 3, which for the most part was pretty solid, though I thought the use of the car hitting Drake was kinda dumb. But the rest of it was kinda thrilling, to be honest, though sometimes it looks a little fake. I mean, it's obvious because they use the green screen because they have to. Um, and problem number two, I had some weird thoughts about like the performances of the characters and actors. So the main lead characters are Nathan Drake, of course, to play by Tom Holland, Victor Sully, played by Mark Wahlberg, and Chloe Frazer, played by Sophia Ali. No Elena though in this movie, which is a weird remove from the story. Um, but Tom Holland, there are some moments where he really feels like acts like Nathan Drake. Like there's so many moments of it. Though at some aspect he doesn't, but for the most part, he does a really good job impersonating Nathan Drake. Attitude and personality. Though there are some times where he feels a little too friendly for Nathan Drake because of how young he is. And he doesn't have a lot of body count in this movie. Chloe Frazer, there are some moments where I feel like she could have been the standout of the movie because I always thought she was cool in the video games. Though there are some moments where her attitude is kind of a little too off to me. Like, sometimes she doesn't feel right in terms of how she acts. And the and her not being part of the climax is kind of odd that she leaves Nathan Drake for whatever she went and then saw them after they saved the day, and that's it. So Clay Frazier is odd. Mark Wahlberg as Sully. I think he's one of the most miscasted roles I have ever seen in a movie adaptation of any type of media. Because with one m- brief moment exception, there was never a point where I feel like he was perfectly imitating what Sully was like in the games. No, for the majority of the movie, like even with the mustache at the credits, although to be fair, I think the credits were trying to make him more Sully than before, but the rest of it just feels like Mark Wahlberg being Mark Wahlberg. And to be honest with you, I don't think he would have made a better Nathan Drake. To be honest, probably because he already was miscast in another video game adaptation, Max Payne. Um, and I think he's a little too old for that. Honestly, would have preferred J.K. Simmons probably because of his personality as J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man, and he would have made a better performance. And he has the mustache that resembles Victor Sullivan. So yeah, Mark Wahlberg, not Victor Sully at all. Um, but the action sequences are pretty good. At one hand, I was kind of thought it was a little too standard, and but there are some very good, awesome action sequences. But I wish there are some more gunfights in this movie, like in the games. But there's still some very cool beating up action sequences, which is part of the game. Um, and and at least the movie is still trying to keep some of the nature of the game. Is like where like the scene where Nathan Drake and Chloe Frazer are like finding some stuff during like at this place where they found a map and they were making some they're standing on each other, if you know what I'm talking about, which is like in the games where what happens when the stairs are not close to them. And yeah, so at least I do like how some they have some elements from the games and they try to capture the spirit of it. Um and I do love seeing Nolan North in the movie. Not because he's the voice of Nathan Drake, but I managed to talk to him about the experience of the cameo back in Galaxy Con in March. And so Nolan, and of course I'm a big Nolan North fan, so I really like Nolan North being part of the movie as a cameo. Though it was weird because that was the only scene where the Uncharted theme music was on, which is odd. I don't know why it was not in the credits. Instead, that was a pop music, which was weird. Um, the villains are fine. They're not like as unique as the ones from the games. They're not even characters from the games. They're like original. Tony Banderas for was didn't really do much because he was not in the movie in the third act because I don't want to give away stuff. And the main villain is probably decent, not gonna lie. Especially during being a threat to Sully for the most part. And Drake at the climax. Um and yeah, so honestly I think Uncharted is a very decent video game adaptation with a lot of questionable decisions. And so yeah, that's my thoughts on Uncharted 2022, my new thoughts on the movie.